It's interesting what happens when you treat every little piece of a thing like it's everything.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Rob Anderson with The Infatuation. Welcome to another Infatuation Academy with Dell XPS. I'm here with Jeremy Cohen. So just a little bit about Infatuation Academy. If this is your first time here, we've teamed up with Dell XPS to connect you with some of the biggest entertainers, artists, musicians through interactive experiences like virtual conversations and digital workshops like you're going to see tonight. This is the Dell XPS. This is all thanks to Dell. It's got the highest resolution 4K plus displays. It's built really nice. It feels really good in my hand. It's got a nice size to it, so it's not too heavy when you carry it, but it feels pretty nice to hold. And we're really thankful for Dell for sponsoring this. We're also giving one away, which is really cool, to one person who's watching this tonight. So to enter, you have to be sure to create an account and then ask a question in our Q&A chat box. And afterward, complete a survey. We'll throw the link in the chat box so you can see it there and you won't miss out on that. But let's introduce Jeremy. How are you, Jeremy?
Hey, Rob. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm really happy to have you. So a little bit about Jeremy. Unless you're counting the customer service representative you spoke to today to get your internet back up, meeting someone new right now seems pretty impossible. But Jeremy Cohen actually seems to have found a way. You might have seen a photo of a musician playing double bass on a rooftop on the cover of New York Magazine, or his Instagram and TikTok series with the long-distance relationship he developed with a girl who lives across the street from him. Through his photography and art, Jeremy's been able to find these new ways to make connections with people that are more relevant now than ever. He's joining us right now for a class on innovation while in isolation, and he's going to share his tips on how to get creative, share some of his recent projects, and answer some of your questions. So how you doing today, Jeremy?
I'm good. I'm really grateful that Infatuation and Dell brought me on for this. I'm chilling right now. I just dipped my baby carrot in some hummus. I'm snacking right now. I'm excited for this workshop.
Not sponsored by baby carrots, though it should be.
Yeah, it should be.
Sweet. Okay, so before we get started in there, just another reminder to throw your questions in the Q&A chat box. That is your way to enter to win a Dell XPS 13 laptop, and we will take it away with the video.
What's up? My name is Jeremy. I'm a photographer based here in Brooklyn, New York, and this is my kitchen. Welcome. I'm really excited to be teaching a workshop today with the Infatuation Academy and this Dell XPS. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about ways we could stay more positive and productive during this time, but first I want to mention that it's okay to not be productive because we're all processing what's going on right now still, and I just want to inspire and encourage creativity and productivity. But if you aren't feeling like being productive in moments, that's totally okay too. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is limiting distractions. We have working from home and being at home, we have so many distractions around us. I mean, we're feet away from our fridge. This is what my fridge looks like right now. We're also right next to the TV, right here. And next to your bed where you can just like take a nap whenever. It's really tempting to do all these things constantly and just have these distractions. So I think the best way to overcome this is just have a designated work area. For me, it's at my desk in the corner of my room. And when I'm sitting there, it's just work mode and I don't let myself get distracted. But it's also important to not work 24/7 and give yourself some free time for leisure and do things that make you relax. Another thing is to give yourself goals and deadlines. Let yourself have these small wins of the day. For example, whenever I wake up in the morning, I make my bed right after I wake up. And it may seem kind of trivial, but when I make my bed, it takes 10 seconds and it gives me a small win. It makes me feel good and kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. Once I accomplish this small thing, I could keep working my way up and accomplish the bigger and bigger things. The next thing I do is I usually just make a cup of tea. It's simple, but it's nice to have a little routine in my day, because I speak for a lot of us where we kind of, our whole routine, daily routine of taking the subway or taking a car to work or doing this, doing that, it's all changed, and we kind of lost this sense of routine, which helps us be productive. So now I'm making my own tea every day. I even like brewing my own tea in these things. So another thing is wear actual clothes. I've been guilty of it. I'm sure you've been guilty of it too, is we just will wear sweats around all day or just like not wear anything. I'm living alone right now, so sometimes I just walk around naked, which is very liberating, but also I just don't take myself as seriously if I can't be in work mode when I'm naked or in sweatpants. I find myself more productive when I'm wearing jeans right now and one of my nicer shirts, and I'm ready to get some business done. Another thing is to set boundaries with your housemates. So whether it's your family, your roommate, your pets, this is another thing that we could get distracted by. So just let them know, like, this is your workspace, this is your work time, and vice versa. Like, try to be able to respect when they need to get stuff done. Try not to distract them and let them be in the zone. A lot of us are workaholics, I think, here in New York, and it's easy to just work nonstop, especially when you're at home, when you're not like going into an office to work where you know that's where you work, and when you come home you don't have to work. But now it's like our office is our home, so we're just always in the place where we're working. You set these boundaries with yourself. Make sure you give yourself a time where you're gonna stop working and when you can just relax. Now is a better time than ever to go outside of our comfort zone a little bit, try new things, learn a new hobby. I'm assuming that a lot of us have more time on our hands because we're stuck at home with running out of options of things to do. So I just want to list some things that, if you're not already aware of. Oh, my veggies are ready. Yeah, so we got just a little distraction here. Got some broccolis, carrots, Brussels sprouts. Speaking of new things that I suggest picking up, one of the things I've been doing is cooking a lot more. So I'll just pick up a bunch of veggies and roast them, or I use this Instant Pot a lot now and have been experimenting with new dishes. I've never been much of a cook before, and it's not that fun cooking for yourself, but I'm going to be prepared once I have friends over again and can cook for everyone. So first one, sounds crazy to a lot of people that have never done this before, but try meditating. You never know what it can bring you, and it actually works. There's so many different forms of meditation, and there's also so many different places online, through apps, through people's live videos that do meditating sessions. I think it's just worth a try for anyone who needs to find a little bit more inner peace or relaxation. Another one is to learn a TikTok dance. Don't worry about what your friends and family would think about you learning a TikTok dance. I know it's kind of a stigma behind it, but it's exercise and it's a lot of fun and it's learning something new. I've learned 2 TikTok dances so far, and I don't know, I've just honestly had a really good time doing it. I just started this year. I think I downloaded or posted my first video in February, but as soon as I started posting, I became so inspired by this app. There's so many videos of just everyone everywhere, old people, young people, this person, that person. Everyone's just getting so creative. Even like my friends who wouldn't consider themselves creative people, they got on the app and they're making these videos that I can't believe how good they are. And so I think TikTok could be great for everyone. And a big misconception is that it's all teenage kids dancing on it, and it's not. Whether you're into cooking or photography or dancing or pretty much there's so many subgenres in there. It's like whatever you're interested in, there's a community for you within that, and people are using the TikTok format to tell stories about their certain communities in very unique and creative ways. It's inspired me as a storyteller who usually uses the format of photography to tell stories in a different way. I've started shooting more video just on my phone and using voiceovers to tell a more compelling story. Anyway, I could go into that for a while, but highly suggest just downloading TikTok, checking it out, looking through hashtags of whatever you're interested in on there, and I think you could get inspired, honestly. First thing you do when you wake up, grab a pen and a paper, just bring it back to the basics, and write for 3 pages. Whatever's on your mind, doodle, whatever, as long as you fill 3 pages. Doesn't matter what it is, just get those creative muscles going, creative juices flowing, and it can set the tone and really inspire you for the rest of the day, creatively, productively. Yeah, take a class, learn something new. We have access through all this technology whether it's YouTube or Skillshare or Masterclass or Infatuation Academy, we could learn so many new things, and there's so much to learn out there. I feel like we've all had something that we've always wanted to do, but just always gave ourselves excuses not to do because didn't have the time or just this or that. And I don't know, why not now? Now's a better time than ever. Just take that online cooking class, or try meditating, or learn After Effects, or learn this program on the computer. All you gotta do is look it up and find a good YouTuber, or maybe pay a little bit of money for a paid class, but invest in yourself, and I think it could pay off in the long run. Another couple ones that are just simple: learn a new instrument, learn a new language, learn to code. Yeah, there's just so many things to learn. Another one is just bring it back to the basics again and pick up a book and read. Yeah, you can do the audiobook, but I think something special, in my opinion, about picking up an actual book and having it tangible just in your hands and going from page to page, because we're so attached to our screens nowadays. We're all doing it. I'm doing it right now, but so it's nice to switch it up a little bit and just have something in your hands. A book that's really inspired me lately is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It sounds a little cheesy, but it's honestly made such a difference in my life. Yeah, the quiz was really popular and everyone's probably taking the quiz, but the book is a whole nother level. It's really taught me how, with any relationship in my life, how I may seem like I feel like I'm showing love to someone or giving someone a lot, they might not be receiving it in that same way, because we all give and receive love in 5 different languages. So I learned a lot, and I think I've really had some stronger relationships with my friends and family since it, because I have a better sense of understanding them more. 2 more things: make a playlist on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, wherever you listen to music. Curate your favorite songs and put it together to a certain genre. And yeah, it's just really fun to make something and make it public, share it with your friends. The last thing, now is a great time to organize your life physically and digitally. So when I say physically, I mean just like, your apartment, dish it, organize all the drawers, sweep the floors, all that. That's obvious. But digitally, especially as a photographer and other creatives, we have so many files everywhere from different years, yada yada. Unless you've been organized from the get-go, this is a great time to get digitally organized. Also, whether it's your hard drives or just your computer, make that computer desktop. Like, if you're one of those people that have on your desktop, you have all the folders and links and photos just right on your desktop, now's a great time to just clean it up a little bit. Put them in folders, put them in other spots. Yeah, I'm a little partial because I like a clean screen, but why not? I think being digitally organized just makes everyone's life easier, and it's visually pleasing too. Okay, so now I want to show you how I've been occupying my time and how I've been trying to stay as creative as I can with my own projects. So, going on my Dell XPS here. I'm not sure what the title is yet, but right now I'm calling it Roof Activity. So this series is something that I noticed. I was just being quarantined all alone. I was looking out my window a lot, and I saw people were frequenting their roofs way more than they normally did to go up and do various different things, such as like playing music or doing sports or working out, doing yoga. All these things people would normally go to somewhere else to do, they were doing it on their roofs. And this is because a lot of us in this neighborhood in Brooklyn, we have roof access, or we have a fire escape that you can get up to your roof. Yeah, it's a safe place during quarantine that you go up and get fresh air without having to wear a mask and having your own space. And I've noticed just New Yorkers are just making the best of the situation and still staying active and still trying to do their normal and just adapting to what's happening right now and to live their best life. So yeah, New Yorkers are resilient. So here is the first video I shot. And then here's a photo series from it. So I've been noticing people going on roofs this was one of the most bizarre things I think that's amazing. It's just the guy that went to his roof to practice his serve. So he's throwing up his tennis ball and practicing his serve just on the roof with like barely any space and like hitting the ball against the wall. you know, we're just making the best of it. Even though we can't go to the tennis courts, he's still getting his practice in. And just grinding on the roof, getting work done, eating a bag of chips. This is one of my favorites, just a couple reading. It's almost like they're at the beach, but the beaches are closed, so they went to the rooftop to get some nice sun and some reading and relaxation. Painting, just being creative. The social distance band, everyone stayed 6 feet apart and performed. A little bit of gambling. Yeah. And then let me go through some more images here. Couple dancing with their dog on the roof. More dancing. There's been a lot of dancing actually, which has been really inspiring. It brings me joy. Also, I like to think whoever's viewing it brings them joy. Yeah, jogging in circles on the roof. Kickboxing or shadow boxing. Taking your dog on a walk on the roof. Yeah, it's been bizarre. So yeah, this is a series that I'm currently working on, and every day, I'm here anyway. I see it just out my window, or I go to my roof and I see all these different roofs around me, and yeah, it's just magical. And it's been inspiring me to create more work about it, but also it's been keeping me very occupied during this time and distracted from everything that's going on. Is art, just making a project, and it's a form of therapy for me. I think being constricted by the walls of our apartment can actually inspire creativity. That's what happened here, and that's what happened with my friend Erin, which I want to show you her page and her project that's been really inspiring to me. She is Erin Outdoors on Instagram, and she started a series called Our Great Indoors, and it's a collaborative series, so anyone can get in on the hashtag and create their own. And she is a nature photographer, a traveling outdoor photographer, and now she can't travel or go out in nature really anymore. So instead of just like not doing anything, she made the best of her situation. She came up with this amazing idea called Our Great Indoors. That's the hashtag, Our Great Indoors, where she created outdoor scenes just in her bedroom or living room by using broccoli as trees. In this example, she recreated this whole scene of a snowy paddle in an ice cave. And I love being able to zoom in on this laptop. That's cool. It's still good resolution. Yeah, look at that. And she created it so it looks like real snow. I almost can't tell that it's shot in her apartment and it's not her in the photo. This one is Pancake Canyon with the syrup drizzled on. It's incredible. Wow. Super cool stuff, and I got really inspired from seeing this series, and I hope to think a lot of other people will too. And then if you click on this hashtag, Our Great Indoors, you can see everyone else contributing to the series. There's been 1,355 posts of people. She's inspired others to also create just in their apartments of nature photographers or whoever, to add to the series and just get creative with it. And it looks like people have been having a lot of fun. All right, now moving on to some of my projects I did. I just want to talk about some of my projects I did before the quarantine. First one I want to go over is Storm Faces. And this was a series. A lot of my projects I make, it's like I get the idea right then and there, and then I just start the series. I'm not the best planner, so I don't plan things way ahead usually. Sometimes I do, but in this case I was on the corner. I just got off of a shoot. I was about to head home. It was like 6 p.m. or something, and somewhere in Times Square, around Times Square. It's actually right outside of MSG, and all of a sudden it started to storm. The wind gusts were like, I don't know, 30 miles per hour, something crazy, and then there was snow and ice and just a combination of things happening, a little bit of rain. It was just very uncomfortable weather, and it came completely out of nowhere. So no one was prepared, unless someone like checked their weather report, if there even was a weather report for it. So anyway, I noticed people just on the street just getting from point A to point B without like an umbrella no one was too prepared, it seems like, and everyone was just making this face of just being super uncomfortable, because it was uncomfortable. My hands were freezing just shooting it. This woman with her kids, getting her kids home from school, presumably. Officer, look at his glasses, the detail in his glasses. There's just there's probably like over 100 water droplets on each frame. Yeah, I love being able to zoom in and see the detail in the photos here. Uh, yeah, this guy just looks very uncomfortable, as does this woman. But hey, the point of this series is us New Yorkers, along with this series that I'm currently shooting, we're just resilient people. No matter what comes at us, we're going to get through it. So that's what I'm trying to show with this. I love how in this image, this guy, even though we're in this brutal weather condition, he still finds the time to light his cigarette and smoke and have his hand out to get his cig in. My other series I want to talk about is my long form series, which I've been doing for about 4 years now, which I haven't really been able to do since quarantine, but I was able to do one post for it amidst like not being able to see other people and social distancing. So yeah, this series is called Today I Photographed. It originally started out, I wanted to become a better portrait photographer, but I'd always give myself excuses to not photograph people. Like I'd see someone interesting on the street and I'd want to photograph them, but there wouldn't be any reason for me to go up and I would get too scared. And I got mad at myself for having all these missed opportunities. So I came up with this idea to photograph one stranger every day and have it live under this project called Today I Photographed. And this gave me the incentive to make sure I was getting a photo of someone every day. And because of this, over the time, I did it for 613 days in a row, I believe. I got so much better at portrait photography, but also I got so much better at just approaching people in general and not being scared to ask for someone's portrait and just building my confidence with photography in general. But also it translated to my social life as well. I can go up to people just in a social setting and be able to talk to them a lot easier. So yeah, through this project, I build a bridge between me and the other person, and maybe that person is a stranger that I see in the park, or someone I meet on the street, or a friend I haven't seen in a while. But I capture snippets of their life and a photo and a few lines that come together to tell their story of our brief interaction. Yeah, these are some of the people I photographed, like from all different walks of life and all different places in the world. I have this foundation belief that everyone has a story to tell, and I'm generally just interested in people and their stories. So this project is an ode to that, and yeah, I just love people and just love utilizing my camera as a way to help tell other people's stories. And that's what this project's all about. So I used to do it every day. I did it every day of a stranger for like 613 days in a row, but now I don't do it every day. I just do it when I feel like it or when the opportunity arises. So it's still my passion project, and yeah, that about does it for my segment. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'm gonna do a Q&A now, so yeah.
Super interesting. Welcome back. There are a lot of great questions that we had in the chat during that little video there. So thank you all for submitting them. I'm going to get started here, Jeremy, with some of the questions here. You've managed to capture a lot of joy during quarantine with your rooftop series. Have you ever noticed this type of activity in your neighborhood before?
So I have noticed people going to their roofs before, but only to chill and drink a beer or something for an hour. But since quarantine, a lot more people have been frequenting their roofs because it's the one safe place that they could go to get a fresh breath of air without having to wear a mask. And so, yeah, I just noticed just right out my window that people were going up to their roofs and doing all the activities they normally do, like working out or playing music or going on a jog. And I don't think that's happened before quarantine.
It's new behavior.
Yeah, behavior happening.
So you're often talking about optimism and inspiration. What are you personally inspired by?
I'm personally inspired a lot by my mom, actually. She's a professional storyteller and motivational speaker. And yeah, I consider myself a storyteller too. And that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from, but also from all my friends' posts. I have a lot of friends that are artists who are also just making really cool stuff. And whenever they make cool stuff, it inspires me with other ideas and to make different stuff as well.
Nice. This question's from Hayden. Does the inspiration for your work come from the New York atmosphere, or does it have to do with the people around you, or both?
Cool. Thanks, Hayden, for that question. I'd say, yeah, I love photographing in New York, mostly because of the people. The people here are the best. And I think it's special because a lot of people are transplants and they move here for a reason because of the hustle. They have a dream, or there's just a reason. And people have like a work hard, play hard mentality, and big personalities here in general, and just wearing eccentric clothes. So yeah, I love just when someone catches my eye and I want to take a portrait of them. And yeah, it's a special place here. Not a lot of people are as reserved as other places.
Totally. This is from Emily Yin. When you feel like you've hit a creative roadblock, what do you do to take a break?
It's a good question, Emily. Yeah, when I hit a creative roadblock, I think the first thing I do is kind of just accept it and just not try to deny it. Like it's totally natural that we can't expect to be creative and make stuff all the time. It's just not possible. So if you're feeling that way, just know that it's okay and just relax. Don't feel like you have to create something, and then just take in some other, just naturally you'll be taking in stuff, whether you're looking on Instagram or reading a book or whatever form of storytelling or art you're looking at. And I think inspiration will probably just strike again. Just stay open-minded.
Great. This question's from Rebecca Conway. Do you have any tips for holding yourself accountable for the goals that you set?
Yeah, I think I'm just a tough critic on myself naturally. I think a lot of us are. Our best critic is ourselves. So yeah, if I tell myself I'm going to do something, I hold myself accountable. So I started my Today I Photographed series, which I think everyone heard in the workshop, because I really wanted to take portraits, but so many times I would get too scared. It was easy just not to ask, because I would. It's daunting to go up to someone and just ask for a portrait. So because of this, I just never really did it. And then I gave myself this project, and I all of a sudden had an incentive to at least once a day go up to someone and take their portrait. And because I had an account and I was posting it online, and I also knew other people were watching, I didn't want to let anyone else down, especially myself. So that was my personal strategy, but I think maybe go something along the lines of what I did there, or yeah.
Yeah, that like positive feedback too when you post something can give you that like motivation to keep going. Whereas if you just were doing it on your own, it might not have.
Absolutely, yeah.
This question's from Fernanda Lins. Did you start any new habits or hobbies during quarantine?
I did. I started eating a lot more baby carrots and hummus. And as you could tell, I have been cooking a little bit more. I had an Instant Pot, but I wasn't really using it that much. Now I'm using it all the time. And what else have I been doing? I've been seeing so many activities happening outside of my window that I want to do. Like right now I'm looking out my window, I see someone flying a kite. So it's definitely inspired me to buy a kite sometime soon, maybe for this summer, just fly a kite on my roof. I can't remember the last time I flew a kite. So yeah, I think I want to do more hobbies that involve my hands and actually, holding something tangible like a kite or something, instead of a lot of my activities right now are on a screen.
Nice. And this isn't sponsored by Baby Carrots, though it really should be.
Yeah.
We're really plugging Baby Carrots hard. They're delicious. This question's from Truman7. Elon Musk isn't the only person giving people numbers in their names. Truman7 asked, what other apps or platforms would you recommend for getting creative?
Yeah, so let me look at my phone right here and see what I got. Apps for getting creative. Well, first app I downloaded recently, actually, it's called Slow Fast. And it's a really easy way to like speed up your videos or slow it down at certain points. And so for my time-lapse videos that I do on my roof, a lot of times it's just not, I set it up and I let it go for like 30 minutes. And I want to keep it under 15 seconds because Instagram stories. And I don't want to like bring it into Premiere and like edit it in there and then export it. I just want to be able to do it all on my phone. So Slow Fast. Another really good app is Splice. I edit a lot of videos on my phone there. I actually have the Boomerang app. I don't do boomerangs on Instagram because on the Boomerang app, if you take 4 fingers and you tap 4 times, it brings up all these settings in the Boomerang app where you could mess around and change so much stuff and make it even more HD. So highly recommend downloading the Boomerang app, even though not a lot of people do. Say another app is It's just an app I use I haven't been doing it lately, but a lot of times I treat my grid as I just want my grid to look good. So I want to make sure like there's not two photos in a row that look very similar.
Interesting.
And I think last app, and I'm not including social media apps, by the way, because that would just be obvious. Last app, it's not necessarily creative, but it's just like a really good app for quarantine. It's called 7-Minute Workout. It's right there, 7-minute workout. And you can just do it anywhere in your apartment. It's just 7 minutes of a solid workout. And a lot of times, I think a lot of days I won't really move. I'll just be sitting down. So it helps with my thinking in general if I just get a little sweat on or just move around a little bit. So 7 minutes, it's like 30-second increments of exercises, and before you know it, it's over, and then I just feel like I worked out for the day.
Awesome. Yeah, you got to sweat.
You got to sweat.
That's what Matthew McConaughey says, after all. He says he doesn't go a single day without sweating.
Really?
Oh, he said that once, and he looks pretty sweaty to me. So,
He's a sweaty guy.
question from Narita. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Zarko. How are you connecting with other creatives, like building your network, without being able to attend in-person events?
Yes, that's a great question. I think we could be really social now, just not in person. There's just so many different ways. Right now, this is Zoom right now, or just group chats, or just interacting with different audiences or communities on various social media platforms. Yeah, I think it could still be done. It's just not that in person, and then one day it can be in person if you just keep in touch.
Awesome. This question's from Davina. What was your first camera and the story behind it?
Ooh, I like that. My first camera was my first digital camera. I think I got a film camera first. My first film camera was a Pentax K1000. It's a 35 millimeter film camera. I don't know if everyone here is familiar with film, but the way it works is like there's 36 frames on a roll of film. You shoot it, and once the 36 frames are done, you wind it back up, and then it comes in a little tin container. You get it developed. Or I was in a class and I got the film developed, and then I printed it out on paper too. It's a whole magical process. So
Wow.
That was my first film camera. My first digital camera was a Canon 40D.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got a question from Ruth Kim. Do you ever struggle with completing a project, or does a project really ever end?
So that's a really important thing to learn, is to know when to end, because as an artist, a lot of times you just don't know where the ending point is. You always think you could make it better, and I've been guilty of it. I'm not sure. I'm still working on that myself, actually, because for my Today I Photograph series, I was shooting it every day for 613 days in a row or something. I made sure I did one portrait a day, and it was affecting my life. Like, it was affecting my mental health and my personal life. Like, I wouldn't be present with my friends because if I didn't have my portrait that day, I was like always like looking around, and it was always in the back of my head. I was a little nervous or anxious, but I didn't want to stop the project. So that was a point where I was proud of myself for like being okay with not having to do it every day. But it was so hard after like that long. So I think just like check in with yourself, and it's okay to stop something and start something new. It's never going to get to like a perfect moment.
Totally. Would you ever recommend like naming a project like 20 this and that, or putting it like in the year, like your 2020 project is this, to keep it confined to a number or like a time frame?
As in for like organizational purposes, or like Elon Musk naming?
No, not Elon Musk. Like 12, naming a project with a number in it, like 12 portraits or 2020 this and that, maybe as a way to like put a confines to it. Or
I think that's a great idea.
Cool. Question from Joy Deep. How do you deal with negativity during this time?
So that's a good question. So I feel like I'm saying that before every question. These are all good questions. So negativity during this time, it's actually been a little difficult because I'm quarantined all alone, but I do have a phone and I could text or call my friends whenever. So I just think just know it's okay to get in touch with your circle whenever you need to talk to someone, and yeah, have your friends check yourself too. Be like, if something's happening, let them from an outside perspective weigh in on it, and I'm sure you value like your good friends' opinions. So that's what I've been doing. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. Another question for you here. People largely think that TikTok is for teenagers and only for dance videos. What made you start creating on this platform?
So my story with TikTok is I had at least 10 friends over the last like 2 years or whenever since TikTok came out telling me, oh, dude, you got to get on TikTok. It's such a fun app. And I always just thought, oh, man, not another app. I had Instagram and Twitter, and I was investing a lot of time and energy in those, and it just felt like the same app. And then finally, like the new year came around, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. So I downloaded it, and then I posted my first video in February, I believe. And it was just like, I just posted a video that I already shot a year or two prior. And I had no followers, and then people started liking it and stuff. And I think I even got more likes than I did on my Instagram. So that encouraged me to post more on it. And then I posted another one. And then I started like looking at the feed, and I saw like people were making really cool stuff on TikTok, better than Instagram, I think. And it inspired me to create videos similar but different. And then I started doing that, and I started having so much fun with it, and now I'm still doing it. So that's my story with TikTok.
Yeah, your TikTok stuff is amazing. It's interesting how it'll send it to people that just want to see what you're doing. It's like the algorithms are really crazy in that way.
Yeah, the algorithm is insane. Like you could get, if you make something cool, you could get discovered so easily. That's the cool thing about TikTok. There's no other app you could really go viral on like you can go viral on TikTok. No matter who you are, if you make something really cool and different, people will see it and pay attention.
Totally. Cool. We have a question here from Saloni. What advice would you give yourself 3 years ago?
What advice would I give myself 3 years ago? Where was I 3 years ago? I was like kind of just out of college. No, I guess I graduated college 4 years ago. What advice would I give myself? I think just like stand up for myself more. There's been some moments where I've been a little bit too laid back. Sometimes in New York here, you gotta just stand up for yourself. So there's been a couple moments where I wish I would have been more assertive in situations. Nice. In a nice way, though. Still,
yeah. Not being a jerk necessarily.
Yeah, not being a jerk, but just like telling someone how you feel. Yeah, just like telling someone how you feel about a certain situation and not holding it in. It's important to like communicate.
Totally. This question's from Jen. How do you keep track of all of your ideas?
Well, I have a whiteboard right here that I write ideas on, as well as my to-do list. And I have really bad handwriting, so I'm not going to switch the computer screen that way. But yeah, I also, in my notes app, whenever an idea strikes, I got in this habit. No matter what the idea is, whenever the idea strikes, as soon as I get it, I write it in my notes app. And I have a certain note in my notes app of just ideas. And a lot of them are rap songs.
Wait, did you say rap songs?
Yeah.
Will you put an idea in if it's not a full idea, like even if it's just like a shell of one or like a little seed of one?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. All ideas start, you can't get the big idea right away.
Do you keep those separate? Like, do you have a separate doc for ideas that are more complete? Or do you just throw it all in one?
I should, but I don't. I gotta work on that.
It's like a messy room. Like your mom comes in and she's like, "This place is a mess," and you're like, "No, but I know where everything is."
Yeah.
It looks messy, but like I know that's like your doc is like some are partial ideas, but
yeah.
Cool. Who are some other artists that inspire you during quarantine? That question's from Jack.
Cool. Yeah, I'd say first person. There's a loud motorcycle outside. A motorcycle gang. Wow. And now a bus. Okay, sorry about that. I say an artist that inspires me right that. I said it in the workshop, but I'll say it again. It's my friend Erin Outdoors on Instagram. She started that hashtag called Our Great Indoors, and it's so good. It's so good. It's like a bunch of, I think there's like almost 2,000 posts in it now of outdoor photographers that are stuck inside and they're making outdoor scenes inside their homes. And I could scroll through that hashtag for a while. So that's been really inspiring.
Amazing. What got you into photography?
So I got into photography when the main reason was because I went with my family on a family vacation to Yellowstone National Park. And my dad brought a little point and shoot digital camera. And my sister, who's like a year younger than me, so naturally we're really competitive, she started taking photos on it, and I thought the photos were so cool. I remember her using this feature where it would only show one color on it and everything else would be black and white. So she photographed the nature and only green would show up and then everything else was black and white. I just remember thinking that was so cool. And so I borrowed the camera for a couple shots and I started taking some pictures and I was hooked.
Nice.
I took a photo of like a moose and I thought, and yeah, I was really excited about it.
It was the moose is the short answer. The too
moose.
long didn't read. It's the moose. This question's from Kristen. Can you talk a little bit about your New York Magazine cover project? How did that feel? Does that inspire you to work even harder?
Yeah, it felt, I mean, I'm not really the type of person to cry too often. And once that happened and I understood it was real, I started crying for like 20 minutes. So it was a very emotional moment in my life. I think it's important to give ourselves credit sometimes because I think we all do this. It's hard to give ourselves credit. And I set this goal for myself to shoot a magazine cover when I first started photography when I moved to New York. And 10 years later, after a lot of hard work, it happened and it felt amazing. And yeah, it all kind of happened at once. I didn't expect this to happen now. Everything just unfolded so quickly. So yeah, just feeling very grateful.
It's incredible. It's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so we got one last question here. And before we wrap up, I do want to, sorry, that's my dog whining. I do want to wrap up. Before we wrap up, I want to remind everybody to fill out the survey to win the Dell. You have to submit a question and then also complete the survey. And that link is going to be thrown into the chat. And then we're going to pick one lucky winner for the Dell XPS 13 laptop.
Is it a raffle or do I get to choose with my raffle system?
It is it is going to be random.
Okay.
So you can't win. Okay, great. So finally, what projects do you have coming up?
What projects do I have coming up? So I'm actually, right after this ends, I'm going to run up to my roof. The sunset is in a couple minutes. I've been going to my roof every day since I've been home for sunset, and I take a little video of the sunset. And instead of just putting any song on it, I put an up-and-coming musician that I did a call out on my Instagram, and so a bunch of musicians have DM'd me. And then I do a raffle and put the music on top of the video in my IG story. And then on top of that, I made a playlist for it for everyone to check out of these artists. And so that's the project I'm like excited about now because I want to put it together to pitch it to Spotify to make it something bigger, which I have an idea for and I'm really excited about.
I love that. I know it's kind of when you have ideas that are just starting or just getting kicked off, you don't want people to really even know about them until they're finished. Sometimes it's hard to explain. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And are there any other like last things that you want to share with everybody? Any last takeaways on being creative in quarantine?
Being creative in quarantine. Yeah, I think, like I said in the workshop, I think it's a great time to be creative and be productive and invest in yourself, but also it's okay if you're not feeling this way because we're all processing what's going on right now. So I encourage you to make the most of the time, but also don't push yourself too much when it's uncomfortable. And also eat a lot of greens and veggies. It's like good for your mind. Do a little physical exercise too. This stuff all like intertwines with each other. for the brain power to get your best ideas and most creative thoughts. And also talk to your friends a lot. Even have like maybe start a little group chat with your creative friends and just like bounce ideas back and forth. No matter how silly they may seem, they could turn into something crazy. A lot of ideas that I've heard of, like through my friends that have built something out of it, it's like a joke at first, and then it turns into like an amazing project. So eat your baby carrots and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you Dell, thank you Infatuation. Appreciate all you guys. I'm feeling very grateful right now for everyone following my work, and bye everyone.
Thank you, Jeremy. And then just a reminder to fill out that post-event survey, and thank you, Dell, and the XPS 13. And we will see you all in the next Infatuation Academy. Thanks.
It's interesting what happens when you treat every little piece of a thing like it's not just one thing, but everything. Because when each part does everything better than ever, imagine what you can do with the sum of those parts.